So, cracking day to start. And if you avoid motorways on Google, it takes you straight into the heart of French farmland. And these roads, although not, super smooth, are just empty and the visibility is brilliant. It's just such a nice way to travel. Almost no one around. And you can see there's like no hedges, you can just see for miles ahead. And all the lumps and bumps in the road, the bike copes with brilliantly. And it smells so good as well, riding through farmland. Just clean, lovely. Quick stop for a coffee and a croissant. There's a bunch of guys from our Folkestone area. They'd been camping for 3 days and stopped for a last beer before the ferry. And after chatting to them, I thought I'd better practice my French. Up into the hills. Great roads still. Nice little twisty, curvy roads, poodling along 30, 40, maybe 50, but just peaceful really, watching out for deer or wild boar. Another hour or so and I'm getting peckish, and there was a cathedral town on a hill in the distance, so I thought I'd ride up there. It's called Leon, the town, and it was spectacular. It's like super cobbled streets, and I came round one corner and there was this street and it was covered in tinsel, like for shade. And so it was a lovely mottled shade, and the sound was really spectacular. Have a listen to this. Up the 8 hours, but yeah, this is super. You don't have to move, you can just swim in the current, which is quite fun. Nice little village. First night's camping. I was in Dienville, but after a long ride and pizza and beer, you sleep okay. And then back on the road again, on the way to Anese. Stopped about an hour and a half from Anese, but it's really peaceful here. It's just crickets the odd rolling thunder, because I've just come through a bit of rain, and a few flies. I don't know if it picked that up, but that was thunder. I think I'm going the right way though. Anyway, sharing. Down into the lovely town of Anese to see my old friends Tony and Maz, and have an evening with them and sleep in a bed, even though I'd only spent one night in a tent. It was very nice. And the lake, what a great place to swim. Really good swimming. Yeah, a nice evening. I nearly toppled off actually leaving them because they lived down a very steep little slope, and I was pretty well laden. Heading south from Anese, I ended up in the most stunning campsite. Well, it was absolutely fantastic. It was pretty much empty. There can't have been more than 10 people there, mostly in vans. I just had the pick of the camping spots, and it was right on the lake, an icy sort of glacial lake. It was just amazing, as you can see. It's camping du Lac du Sauté, which is a town. The nearest town was called Cor, and I think in the distance, the mountains you can see the Grand Ferrand. But as you can see, it was brilliant. And the cafe bar restaurant had just opened 2 weeks before, just been taken over by a really lovely young couple. Fantastic food and great decor, and I didn't dine alone. heavy dew last night, camping by the lake, so all the kit was quite wet. So I found this nice little beautiful town square in a place called Vaux, and had a outside cafe, bar, restaurant. So I thought I'd grab a bite of lunch and dry the kit out. But I think they took offence to me using the town square to dry my tent, because they wouldn't serve me without a reservation, even though the place certainly wasn't busy. Anyway, I had to move on, try and find some food elsewhere. So I just stopped here because being in France, lunch was going to stop by 2 o'clock. Oh, désolé, monsieur, c'est fermé. And I've just had a Caesar salad, but it had chicken goujons and egg with it. So, true to form, I arrived probably 3 hours early for the ferry, and just went off and had a lie on the beach around the corner, then came back and check out these guys. There's a guy on a Harley and one on a Motor Guzzi just come barging through. There's a bit of hand waving. The bikers weren't that friendly, really. Strange. So slept on a bench on deck and managed to wash and shave, and then here we are, Ajaccio, Corsica. So noticeably warmer down in Corsica, and lovely twisty roads. I rode over the mountains to the Bay of Valinco, to a town called Piana, where I used to work on the waterfront, and amazingly ran into the two people I used to work for, Claude and Martine, who are still operating down there. Claude runs an underwater exploration business and sells photographs. Lovely to see them. And then had a bite of lunch and back on the road. It's pretty impossible not to stop all the time when you're riding through Corsica. It is such a stunning island. This was in the national forests. And beautiful lakes, mountains, just terrific. There are loads of bikers, motorbikes and push bikes in Corsica. It's a great place to ride everywhere. So I found a campsite near Porto Vecchio, which is a little bit grubby. It was kind of a bit muddy, and the swim in the sea was not so good, but it was really convenient, and met a lovely Italian man called Stefano, who was riding a bike exactly the same as mine. So we swapped stories, and it had a really nice little bar cafe as well.
parked up here. There should be a secret path, or maybe not so secret. It leads down to the kind of natural swimming pools of the river. So that's what I'm aiming for. But in 40 years, the road and the path seems to have fallen off a cliff. I think I found another path, but it's really quite, well, you can't see it how steep it is, but it's I see where I want to be on that path, but there's barbed wire, so I don't know whether I'm not where I should be or whether I'm going to go where I shouldn't be. Well, that was a bit tricky. I've been up and down another river, got very lost, but now I can see in front of me a proper path. And I think it's going where I want to go. So here we are. This is the jumping bridge. I won't be jumping today. I thought there'd be loads of people here. Oh, here we are. There's some naked man. So I just had a really lovely swim down upstream under the bridge and down to this big pool. It's nice cool water. Swim in the sea yesterday was really warm, so yeah, this was better. So after that excitement, I dry myself off. I rode in my trunks and wet t-shirt top for about 3 or 4 miles, which is great, but obviously not very sensible. This is the mountain bastion town of Corte, and there's a statue of Pascal Paoli, a famous resistance general Corsican who actually ended up dying in England. There's a statue of him in Westminster Abbey. While we're on history, Napoleon Bonaparte was born in Ajaccio, which is one of Corsica's claim to fame. Bit of a bummer, I couldn't get the bike right onto the pitch, so I had to carry all the luggage all the way down here. However, I reckon that doesn't really matter, because look at that. Oh, Man, look at that swimming pool down there.
Well, I definitely did not escape the rain. In fact, it got harder and harder. Nice logging lorry man let me go past him. Well, just watch on, you can see it did get bad. Well, about 5 minutes into it, and after I'd been overtaken by another couple on a bike and the logging lorry again, it started to get so bad it kind of became fun. It was pretty extraordinary, like flash flooding, and, mud as well. Anyway, the answer was just to keep riding, and you'd get through it. actually a pretty good storm. Anyway, through the Col at the top of the mountains and down to heading towards the west coast to Piana, which is beautiful red rocks. Anyway, the weather's getting better and starting to dry out, which is nice. I wasn't cold, so it didn't really matter at all. Being wet is being wet. Being wet and cold isn't nice, but it was still pretty warm. So like a mobile clothes area, you're dry in about half an hour. Had a proper break in the weather, overlooking beautiful hillside town, to take off some waterproofs because I was starting to overheat. But yeah, it's just stunning scenery. The weather's still a bit iffy. I think I might get wet again yet, but heading the right way down to Piana and beyond, heading towards the beach, I think. So this little section through the red rocks is literally a tourist trap, and they have guys either end of the narrow pass on walkie-talkies in case anything big comes through, and they have to stop the traffic to wait until the big coach or whatever comes through. There's the guy on the other end of the walkie-talkie, stopping traffic if needed. So into Piana and out of Piana, and look at those stunning views. It's quite hard to ride when you're looking over, well, you're not looking at the road anyway. 3-minute walk to the beach. Lovely, quiet campsite. Drying everything out. What a relief. It was quite a busy day all in all. Very happy to be here. And a lovely German neighbour who spoke no English at all just wandered over with a beer from his local town and near Dortmund. So nice. Down to the beach for a swim and another beer. And the best chips ever. So leaving the camping Plage d'Aron and riding through the red rocks again of the Piana National Park to the beautiful hotel, a Rocher Rouge, for breakfast, coffee and a croissant. The hotel's from a bygone era of wealth and grandeur, and it's now still magnificent but a little chipped and faded, which adds to its appeal as if it's now accessible to all. Superb. So good old Google has found me some beach camping, and it looks a bit grey actually, but well, the whole day's been a bit on and off. It doesn't look too bad. At least there's a little cafe restaurant bar. I was certainly a bit tired after all day whizzing across the hills. Happy to be here. So got the tent up and the weather seemed to clear. Gave me a lovely pitch near some ponies. Beach was great. Had a good swim. And tomorrow I'll go and explore Sanlor, which you can see in the distance. But right now it's to the bar. So a nice relaxed shorts and t-shirt ride into Sanlor for breakfast. And Sanlor is really pretty. There's a lot of boats, but it's lovely cobble streets and super little boutique shops and good tourist town. And yeah, lovely bars and restaurants, cafes, all marina front. Yeah, it was nice, feeling good and relaxed. I haven't got much to do today, so can have a nice leisurely breakfast and enjoy the scene. Not my bike, not my boat. Yes, my breakfast served by a nice chap. We got heavily invested in a boat that was stranded in a storm on the beach. He was trying to pull it off with the tug there. It took about an hour. There was a big audience, 2 diggers, but they did eventually manage to get it off the beach, which was great. Well, after an hour it was great. Following that schoolboy era, sat planning a route for the day, and before I knew it, there were ants in my trousers. Oh. So quick dash across the hills to Bastia to catch a ferry. The weather was a bit dodgy on the way over and actually on the ferry, so ended up sleeping not on the deck, well, on the deck for a little bit and then indoors because it really was a bit wet. So back on the mainland and a breakfast in Toulon, and then a ride up to Lac du Baladru, which is a good camping spot near the lake, which was beautiful. However, the closest I got to a swim was a to dangle my hot feet in the water as it was a nature reserve and swimming was interdit. So by now I was on day 12 of the trip, and it's always said go slow and come back quick. So I was heading north, and the scenery and the weather was getting kind of more familiar, more British. And after one more day's ride up to Girardot here and a night at the Lac d'Orléans with the best tartiflette and salad ever, I came off the small roads and took the auto route for the last 200 miles to get to Dover Ferry to be home before dark. It was a lovely trip, and as before, being able to FaceTime back home every night makes solo travelling less solitary. I also learnt that having a destination to spend some time at is a better plan than just riding a big circle. I think a break in the middle of a journey is important. Also, having a ferry booking that's not flexible can spoil the free to roam feeling a bit. Well, for anyone who's still awake after all that, thanks for watching, and I thoroughly recommend doing a solo trip. It's great, loads of fun.